Imagine yourself inside a small bubble. Feels claustrophobic, doesn't it? Now, imagine it as a bubble of fear, greed, or guilt. Doesn't that make it even worse? Now, if I were to tell you that this isn't an imagination, but the reality, how would you feel? We don't realize, but we do live inside of some of these bubbles, and they continuously influence the way we act, our decisions, and eventually our lives. When you say it's not my thing, that's your comfort zone bubble, holding you back from trying something new, limiting you. And that's just one example. But today, I want to pick on the bubble that I think is the most overpowering and damaging to our mental and physical well-being. Hi, my name is Vani Garcha, and I believe that we need to break out of the bubble of fear. Okay, raise your hand if you have ever said, I can't do that, before even trying. As I thought, almost everyone has. This is the bubble of fear. I like to visualize it as a dull purple bubble, like the Avatar of Fear in Inside Out, that very insightful and cute Disney movie. Fear surrounds us and taints practically every decision. But fear isn't always negative. I wouldn't want anyone here to become a delinquent because they no longer fear the law. Fear keeps you out of dark alleys at night and reminds you that riding your bike on an icy day might not be the wisest choice. So then, what makes fear detrimental? In life, everyone strives to be happy. It's the reason why we spend the first 25 years of our life learning and the next 25 applying the knowledge to build a good life and society. But when fear drives every decision, then instead of creating happiness, we end up creating a stressful environment around us, like the stress that comes from the fear of failure or not fitting in. Okay, here's another example for you. Raise your hand if you enjoy singing or dancing or just vibing to your favorite music. Great, so do I. Now, keep your hand up if you would ever sing in front of your friends or just some random strangers. Yeah, I'm with the crowd who put their hands down. I love singing, but because I'm fearful of the reaction and thoughts of the audience, I stop myself from doing what I enjoy. Here's another experience I've had on many occasions. Once I was attending a speech and debate club meeting, and we were reading out our speeches on the topic of banning video games. As I was waiting for my turn to speak, my heart was pounding more every second, and I thought everyone could hear it through the screen. My ears were red and I was burning up. I had put a lot of time, thought, and effort, so I was ready to deliver it, and the environment was encouraging. And even though I knew it wasn't graded, I almost felt sick. Finally, it was my turn to go, and I spoke way too fast, and I stumbled. But when I finished, all I got was praise and encouragement. I realized I had been dreading and fearing my turn for no reason, and that if I had just let go of the fear of failure or the fear of being judged, I would have had a much more enjoyable experience. Now, let's take a story from one of my own friends. For the sake of their privacy, let's call her Bella. Bella was scared to talk to one of her friends to sort out an issue between them. She feared that if she confronted her friend, the situation would worsen. Because of that fear, she worried about it for weeks and couldn't focus on her schoolwork. Her grades slowly began to fall because her mind was preoccupied. It actually started to impact her health, and her parents started to worry as well. So finally, she heeded to some advice and confronted her friend. And guess what? It turned out that her friend had been waiting for them to talk, and that she, too, was also too scared to confront Bella. All those weeks of anxiety for herself and her parents could have been avoided. This is just another illustration of the negative impact of fear. These all may seem like harmless situations, but all of these seemingly benign straws build up and break the camel's back. They impact our physical, mental, and emotional health. Don't believe me? The University of Minnesota says that fear weakens our immune system and can cause many diseases, such as a cardiovascular disease. Fear prepares us to react to danger. Once we sense the potential danger, our body releases hormones that slow or shut down functions that aren't needed for survival, like our digestion, and sharpens functions that could help us survive, like our eyesight. The flow of hormones increase to an area of the brain, called the amygdala, to help us focus on the clear and present danger. If these responses occur on a daily basis, our body's way of maintaining a healthy internal environment, or homeostasis, stops functioning. So not only does fear affect you emotionally and mentally, it actually manifests as physical disease over time. Fear also impacts what you believe to be pleasurable and what you eventually do in life. At any age, especially when we're younger, what we experience influences our decisions. If anyone's first experience is ridden with fear and doesn't go well, they won't want to do it again. I was so scared the first time I read my speech that if I hadn't been asked to present it again, I might have never done it. And then I would be with a group of people who don't want public speaking to be a part of their job. By the way, while we're still on that topic, you might find it interesting that according to the National Social Anxiety Center, 73% of people in our country fear public speaking more than they fear death. Now, the real question is, how can we manage fear so to only let it impact us in positive ways? And I'd like to offer some ideas. It won't make someone as fearless as Superman, but if we practice this enough, our fears won't stop us from experiencing simple joys and contributing to life overall. Remember that dull purple bubble that surrounds us when we need to speak in front of our class? Look at that bubble. What can we use to break it? Here's a 3-part solution that can make fear slowly loosen its grip on you. Number 1, when you approach a situation that makes your heart race, take a moment to think about why it's racing. Pause and take a deep breath and rationalize. Our brains have evolved to help us make choices that keep us safe and comfortable. Therefore, we are programmed to believe that fear is essential to keep us safe in our established comfort zones. In the instance of speaking, why would your heart race? Because you might mess up, or because everyone's looking at you, or because the speaker before you was stellar, or the one after you seems a lot more prepared? Are these rational reasons for saying that public speaking is not my thing? And you'll come to the conclusion that they aren't. These reasons for never trying something that is out of our comfort zone that could be good for us originate in our pre-programmed mind. Fear as an acronym stands as fake evidence seeming real. Now, once you reason fear out, comes step number 2. Break the bubble with the tool of courage. So replace fear, fake evidence appearing real, with faith in your courage. Courage is our innate strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger. Aristotle knew this. 2,500 years ago, he said courage was the mother of all virtues. When we face problems with courage, we feel better in the end. After some practice, the experience becomes enjoyable. And if you enjoy something, you want to do it again and again. And slowly your fear of public speaking or dancing or singing will vanish. Actually, your courage will overpower your fear. There's a purpose that fear serves, to protect us. But the walls of self-protection can also become the walls of self-imprisonment. And we need to be cautious and acutely aware of that. If you don't believe me, think about that example I was telling you before. I was scared to talk at a meeting where there were at most 6 people, and I didn't need my camera on. Because I rationalized that this fear should not stop me, I actually tried out for TEDx. And here I am, talking to so many of you and actually enjoying it. Now, having conquered fear with reason and courage, the 3rd step is to spread the word. I want you to think about what a positive impact this could have on you and your family when you share instances of your courage winning over your fear. Sharing something we've learned with others not only reinforces it for us, but also influences others. For kids, think about your parents. When you're stressed or worried, it affects your parents. They stay up all night thinking about what could be wrong and what they can do to help. And parents, your kids might admit it, but they look up to you. When you complain about having to speak in front of a crowd or you're nervous for your next public speaking event, it leaves an imprint on your child's mind. So if your every action is laced with courage, your children will try to incorporate that in their lives too. Because if my mom or dad can do it, why can't I? I've seen this before in my own life. I will have friends who have never even tried public speaking, but they already hate it because someone they know, maybe in their own family, have complained about it. English is my mom's third language, but she still goes up in front of a full auditorium of people and talks about her work. It's not that she isn't nervous, but even with all that fear and nervousness, she steps on the stage with courage and confidence. And whenever I see her or my dad up there, I believe that I can too. It's partly the reason why I'm here today. Accepting our own vulnerabilities brings unmatched power and authenticity. Courage and reason aren't just solutions for fear. Try applying these to all of our limitations, our bubble of greed, guilt, and more. The solution is simple and effective, and there is no cost. Courage is your lifelong friend that will never do you wrong as long as you have good reason to go with it. Now, once again, imagine yourself inside the bubble of fear, but this time you have your tools of reason and courage to break free. Remember that you can be and do anything, so long as you recognize, respect, and believe in the power of courage and reason. Enjoy your freedom. Thank you.